So here in the Power Apps mainly, let me explain you a little bit with this. After that, we'll start with the Power Applications. So here we are having two concepts. One is the environment concept and one is the solution concept. Environment means we will be having the environments for the development, testing, productions. That means overall, all the applications, flows, solutions will be in one environment. If you are developing anything, then it will be in the development environment. We can deploy the overall solutions and the applications and the flow from one environment to the another environment. Suppose you are working with one application of the Power Apps in the development environment and you want to deploy it into the testing environment for the testing purpose, then we will be having a different environment for that. And if you want to deploy that particularly from your end to the client end, then your environment will be different and the client's environment will be different. Environment means your organization's tenant over there. In that, you will be having all the things, your applications, your flows, your solutions, your reports, your data, everything. That is the environment overall. That means it's a country. In the country, we are having states. States are solutions. Here, all the environments will be listed here. Environment part. Now, solutions. In the solutions, we will be having, like, we can create one solution. In that solution, we can bind different applications, different flows together. Let me create one solution. Here, I'm creating one new solution, taking the name. It's like a box. We are keeping the things in that particular box. That is solution. So testing solution. We need to select the publisher and create. It will give you like this. This is the solution. In that, we can create applications, flows, like if we are using the Dataverse, then all the tables over there from the Dataverse, the dashboards from the Dataverse, Power BI dashboards, other things like the cards, chatbots, security roles over there, these kind of things. So in the solution, we can keep the things to bind together. And this solution will be in the environment. And we can deploy the solution from one environment, like suppose here it is a R&D environment, from R&D to the development, from development to the testing, from the testing to the production, from our end to the client end. We can deploy solutions. In the same solution, see, one app, we can have the application. With the application, we will be having the connected flows. So to keep the things together, we'll have the solution concept. Particularly, if we are creating one PowerApps, application here, and some 2 to 3 Power Automate flows is related to or connected with that particular application, then we can create the application here as well as that particular flows here in the same solution. Okay. So that, all the things will be together at one place. And also we can deploy all the things together at the same time. All the applications, all the flows of, one client, suppose. We can keep the things together by using the solutions. Now, understand the part of the environment of the solution. Having a question?
Understood.
So here in the Power Apps, we are having two types of applications, mainly the Canvas app. Another one is the model driven app. In the Canvas application, we are having the very good, let's say, the ground to play with the UI. But in the model driven application, we need to be, let's say, depend on the default UI. Here, for this part, we are going to start with the Canvas application. While building the application, we'll see all the concepts one by one. So just remember these things. We are having two types of applications in the Power Apps. One is the Canvas application, another one is a model-driven application. If our focus is on the UI part, then we will use the Canvas application. But if the focus on the data only, we just want to display our data in an organized format, then we're gonna use the model-driven applications. Let me open the console for this Canvas application. I'm creating one Canvas application here. Now see, while creating the Canvas application, we'll get two formats. One is a tablet format, another is the phone format. We can make this application particularly related to like of the layout of the tablet and the the web version as well
Himera,
as only for
system
the mobile versions.
Himera.
Yes,
Sorry to interrupt. You told like Canvas apps and one more app, right?
model driven.
Model-driven app. So in Canva, using Canvas apps also, we can include Canvas. We can build apps for flows, right? We can take the
Can you please come
data.
again?
Can we create data or objects using Canvas app and push that to flows, right? Or is it only
Exactly,
from the or from the
exactly.
both the apps we can take the
See,
objects and put put it for the flows?
let me show you some examples of Canvas applications and the model driven applications. I'll just show you some the overview regard. Let me share with you once, then you will get understanding what is the
Yeah.
Canvas application and the what is the model driven application. Here in my environment, just give me a moment. See, subscription organizer. This is the one model driven application. Okay. Here in the model driven application, we need to depend on the data which is coming from the data source, that is Dataverse only. We have to depend on the Dataverse itself. Apart from Dataverse, we are not able to use any other data source like Excel, SharePoint, SQL, anything. In the model-driven application, we can only use Dataverse as a data source. By using the Dataverse only, we can build the application in the model-driven. And the other thing is that the UI will be like this only. We will be having these tabs, this new, delete, refresh. By default, we will get these things like this UI and the layout as well in the model-driven. We can go on a new, we can create the records, we can save the records, save flows, refresh it, delete this, these kind of things. That means we are having some bulky data, we are just performing some CRUD operations on that data. And we are just displaying that data into the organized format here in the model-driven application. Like in a CRM we do. We can build the CRMs by using the model-driven applications here. And the UI will be same for all the applications. Your data will be different in the dataverse, but the UI you will get the same. This UI only overall. This kind of UI only. This interface only you will get in the model driven application. We can't change. We can change this new button from here. We can put this new button from here to here. We can't. We can't change the button icon of the delete. We can't change the refresh icon of this particular. We have to depend on this default layout in the model driven application. Got me? Now,
Yeah.
now for the Canvas application, I'm going into the Canvas application. In the Canvas application, we can do anything with the UI. It depends on us how we are, let's say, coding the functions over there and which controls we are using. See here. I can take anything anywhere. It depends on me, the things where I want in the application. That is the UI. And the overall focus on the UI here in the Canvas application. One more thing, we can use any kind of data source. We can use SharePoint, SQL, Dataverse, Excel, OneDrive, anything. Whatever data source you have, we can use in Power Application of Canvas app, but not into the model-driven application. In the model-driven application, if you are having your data into the Dataverse only, then only we can build the model-driven application of PowerApps. But here in the Canvas application, we can use any data source, any kind of data source. Now get me? Now you got the particular, concept. What is the model-driven application? What is the Canvas application?
Yeah, but one small doubt.
Hmm.
Can we change from one data to another data for different environments?
Basically, in which sense you are saying, like
Example.
deployment, in the deployment, what you are asking?
Any example, if I'm using any of the application here if I'm doing a Canvas app in one environment
Mhm.
X, if you take it like environment X,
Mhm.
environment Y, I'm doing another application. I'm using another application. So can I move from this environment X to Y environment?
Exactly. We can move from the X to Y one. Moving, what I'm saying, attention to the details, what I'm saying here, why we are deploying the application. Why? Focus
Okay.
on this why. See, in the solution, we are building the application. I got the requirement from the client. Okay, I want to build this application particularly with this kind of flows. So the requirement of the client is like we need to build one power application of the Canvas app associated three, what say the automated cloud flows over there. For completing that task, what I'm doing first, I'm creating the solution. In the solution, I'm creating the power application of the Canvas. Then also I'm creating three power automate flow over there. Now I want to test my application overall. Whatever I have developed, I want to test it. I won't gonna test by myself. I'm giving it to the tester to test the applications. Okay. To handing over overall, solution to the tester, we will be having a different environment for the tester to doing testing over there. So what we will do, we'll just put from this environment overall solution, we'll export it and we'll import it into the testing environment. Afterwards, testing is done. Now we wants to give overall this application to the client. We wants to hand over to the client overall package. Again, from the testing environment, we are going to deploy that solution into the client's environment. That is the production environment, that live environment, whatever client having. So that means the data source will be similar only, right? We need to have the similar data source in all the three environments, in the development, into the testing, into the client environment. We should have the similar data source with as well as similar structure, schema of the columns over there. If suppose we are using the SharePoint online, then we should have the list schema exactly similar in the all the environments, in the development, in the testing, in the client environment. If suppose here in the development environment, if I'm having the list, SharePoint list, let me just open any test list, test site.
Humera, I have no idea about this SharePoint. Can you just give a brief introduction of this?
Okay. Okay. Let me. Amisha, do you have any idea related to the SharePoint?
No, not as is. Like in demo lecture, you just told me about little bit about it.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, then okay. We'll cover these points as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So, others here, the SharePoint is a widely used data source in the Power applications for the Power Automate as well as the Power applications of the Canvas application. We are not able to use SharePoint Online as a data source in the model-driven applications. Are you guys aware of the Dataverse as a data source?
No,
No,
I'm new to
no,
Microsoft.
So you are not aware of the Dataverse as well, right?
no. I only know about Excel and the SQL. That is all.
Okay.
Me too,
So
same.
here, okay, then we'll cover, first of all, we'll see some basics related to the data sources, the SharePoint Online and the Dataverse over there.
Okay.
Both are the data sources, SharePoint Online as well as the Dataverse. You can, make a notes as well. Here, in the Power applications, we can use data sources as SharePoint Online and the Dataverse. But the difference between both is like here in the SharePoint Online, we will be having some hierarchy. We can create sites. In the sites, we can create subsites. Again, in the subsites and the sites, we can have the list, document libraries, pages. I'll show you one by one. See, in the home page, this is the home page of the SharePoint Online. We can create site, first of all. Let me create one site here. Here in the site of the SharePoint, we will be having two types of sites. One is a team sites, another is a communication site. Team site, in the team sites, we will be having list, libraries, pages. List is exactly similar like Excel table. We can create a Excel kind of table in the list. Document libraries to use to store the folders and the files. Pages to display your data over there. If you any kind of web part you can display on the pages. You can also put the Power BI reports over there. You can also put the Excel sheets over there. You can also display overall lists and the document libraries on the over there on the pages. These three things will be there in the Teams side. Now, in the communication side also, these things will be there. But the difference between these two things, the team sides will be for some particular peoples of the organization. The audience will be like the, the audience, targeting audience will be there in the team side. In the communication side, we can use the communication sides to broadcast the things. Suppose in the HR department, HR is using a communication side to targeting a huge number of audience over there to display some kind of celebration, some kind of, posting leads and all, to post some blogs over there. These kind of things will be there. And the authentication and the rights will be limited to only for the HR department admin into the communication side. But in the team sides, the rights will be different. User rights will be there, admin rights will be there, full, we can give the full rights, member rights, like that. Let me see. Here we mainly use the team sites only. Communication sites we hardly use. So we'll see only the team sites. I'm just opening the team sites. Here in the team sites, we will be having templates. We can use these kind of templates to create a site. It's not a public facing site. It's not a public facing site. These sites will be visible to only your organization people, if that too, if they are having the access for that particular site. Three kinds of access will be there. First is a full control on the site. Second will be the member of the site. Third will be the viewer of the site. Viewer. That means if you are having the full control on the site, then you can perform all the CRUD operations over there. CRUD operations means create, read, update, and delete. Member. Member also can do all these things. Some restrictions will be there. Some restrictions will be there. Viewer. Viewer can only view the things over there. They can't create, they can't delete, they can't update. They can just only view the things.
Amira, restrictions means
Yeah.
like for the
Sorry, can you please come again?
for member, what's the restrictions means? Like what restrictions?
What restrictions means in the while see, suppose you wants to share or add the members, other members. So if you are a member, then you won't be able to add the other user as a member. But if you are having a full right, then you can add the other member or user into the member or the viewer list over there. That kind of restrictions will be there. Let's see it further. Here, we'll create one site first. We can choose from this particular template as well, but we'll take the standard or blank. We have to keep the site name. We'll take testing for data source. Next. See, privacy setting will be there. Only members can access this site, as well as anyone in the organization can access this site. That means in the tenant, whatever users are there, if we select here the public, anyone in the organization can access this site. So anyone from your organization can be able to come into this site and they can see the stuff, what stuff is there. If we select as a private, only members can access this site, then that's only site owner. Here I am the site owner. I am making this site. So I am the site owner. So the rights will be mine that I can add you as well as the other person as a member. So suppose I'm creating it as a private and create site. We can add the members here. Suppose I'm having Santosh here. We can add. Members will be like this. Suppose we'll add to Kunal like this. As a member, we can add. I'm taking my name. So finish. As a member.
Humera, only if the person is already like have the account only in SharePoint, only those people can be added, right?
Yes.
Or
Not in the
Microsoft
SharePoint. They
account
can
holder.
say,
Okay.
yeah, not in the SharePoint. The accounts of like they are having the license. In the organization, if you are working with Microsoft products, then there should be like having the licensing part over there. For the SharePoint, PowerApps, Power Automate, and all the Microsoft products. And their accounts will be associated with Azure AD into the Azure AD name. If they are having that accounts in the organization tenant, then only we can add those members here. Okay. See, here we are, it's showing one member. Now, as a owner, I'm as a owner. I can make myself as a member as well. Again, I can add the members too from here also. So we can give access to the other users from here. Now, see, in the new tab, we will be having all the things listed. List, document library, and the pages. We only deal mainly with these three things over there. From these three also, we mainly focus on the list as a data source because SharePoint overall is a very big concept. We are having the SPFX language over there. We can do so many things by using the SharePoint Online. But as a just data source, we are using it in a canvas in the model-driven application. Not sorry, SharePoint Online we won't use in the model-driven application. We only use SharePoint Online in a canvas application and in the Power Automate flows. Also, we also use SharePoint as a data source in Power BI reports too, as a data source. So our focus will be on the list only. If you want to explore it more, you can explore it on the basis of like what kind of hierarchy will be there, what kind of relationships will be there, how the lookups will work here in the in between of the sites and the subsites. How are the controls part over there? Controls part in the sense the grouping concept is there. We will be having some SharePoint groups concepts. So overall, the SharePoint Online is a very different concept, and we can have so much to explore here. But as a data source, we can only see here the list. Let me make one list here. Again, we are having templates. We can make the list from the existing list. We can also from like Excel also we can import from CSV as well we can import. Now I am making a blank list. canvas list. Name created. Now see, here in the list, we are having exactly similar as like Excel. We can create different columns of different data set. Let me show you. If I create add columns, then we will be having these kind of data sets. We can create text column, choice, date and time, multiple line of text, person column. In the person column, we'll get all the person's email, display name, and what's the address, etc., whatever contact details and all of your organization's members over there only in the person column. Again, the currency, location. One is a lookup column. Lookup column will see this concept of the lookup. First, see these kind of data sets will be there in the SharePoint. That means the column type over there. Suppose, and here, let me first. Here, title, it is a by default column. It will be a text column. And the primary column we can say here in the SharePoint Online, the title. Let me just go here. In the settings, we will be having the list settings. In the list settings, I'm going. It will show you the columns which are there in the list. Here, the by default columns like title, modified, created by, modified. These columns are. Suppose if you want to explore more, are you guys having the license of like a trial license of the Power Platform?
No, no. Even I wanted to ask that at the end of the power license I have.
So by Power license only you can have, here from here itself you will be you can get the SharePoint.
No, it's not available for me actually. I have to check
Uh,
with the
which
supplier.
license you are using, like in the trial, because in the trial we'll get
Not
all
in
these
the
things.
trial. We have the paid version only, like professional one
Mhm.
only. Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power BI. All the three I have.
But
But even I
SharePoint
checked,
must be there.
it's not there actually. Can I share
Uh,
your screen at the end of the this one session?
yeah, okay, sure then, sure. Okay, miss.
Can continue.
So here, so I was just telling, if you guys having the license, then just come here in this particular list section of the settings and just go through with these things here, what we can do with the settings, because in the settings also there are a number of things we can do, but as a time, you know having some time limitations, I'm not going into that much depth of the data source, because we are just using here SharePoint Online as a data source. That is only list we are using. So that's why I'm not going into that much depth here. But for the understanding, you can just go through with these things in the settings. Column ordering we can do, index columns are there, the create columns, we can also create columns from here itself. See, I want to create a column for the name, single line of text, require, that is this column contains, I want it required. Then click on OK. See this name as a single line of text. It is required. That means whenever we are using this field, then it should be filled. Otherwise, it will give us a error. This field is required. That kind of error will get. in the settings. These things will be in the settings. Now I'm going into back. What I will do, I'm creating one choice column here. Choice column, suppose department. In the department, I'll create PowerApps, then .NET, SPF part. These three choices I have created here. Let me save it. This is the choice column. If I go from here, edit in a grid view, click on this, we can add the items here. Title like test one, name, ABC, and we can select the department. Again, exit grid view. It will create the one row here in the data. Okay. Now, why I have created this choice column here? I'm going here in the site contents. Focus on all the points. I'm going into the flow. So if you guys are not getting anything, just interrupt me and ask the question. Okay. So while
So मेरा one
in the
question.
flow, yeah, please.
So when we are adding the columns, we are doing on this page, right? As you have
Uh,
just done. Whenever we
yes.
are in setting, whatever you told us, in setting you add one that particular name column.
That name column we have created. We have not created. We here, this is the data.
Hmm.
This is the column names, the
So
title, name, department, right?
yeah.
So these are the columns.
Hmm.
In the columns, now we are submitting the data here.
So if we need to add some column, then we have to go to the settings thing.
In the from the settings as well, we can create the column. From here also, we are having an option add columns.
Hmm.
From here also, we can go into the add columns. Suppose I want to create one date column. So I'm
Hmm.
taking a date and time, create on next to, and just give it a name. Let's say date, then save it. It will create a column for you. Now
So
again, yeah, please.
so by doing both the things, we are doing the same thing. Here we are adding column, and by going to the setting, we are adding the column. That's the same thing. Is that so?
No,
Or
why I went into the setting part,
hmm.
I wanted to show you guys the other things over. Here in
Okay.
the setting, if I go again in the list setting,
Hmm.
here we are not having only the columns over here. It's showing, see, it's showing the columns with the data set, type of the data.
Hmm.
But here in the setting, we are also having the other things. Add from existing site columns. If you are already having those names of columns in other sites, there is no need to create it again. We can just take those, data sets and column here. So we can use add from existing site columns. Column ordering we can set. We can create some index columns. We are also having other settings too, validation
Okay.
settings,
Okay.
advanced
So
settings.
yeah. So by coming on the setting, we can do other work also, and this particular thing we can do on that page also,
Exactly.
as well as
Exactly.
here. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Got it.
here in the settings, we are having a more stuff too.
Yeah. So we can go through that, or we can explore that thing also And this adding column
Exactly.
we can do on this page also and the previous page also, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, got it, got it.
Yeah. And if you wants to only create the column, then we are
Huh.
having here the
Simply,
options.
yeah, simply if
Yeah.
we are adding column, then we can do here. If we want to add something extra, then we can go to the setting thing.
Exactly.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Thank. Yeah, yeah.
Again, here, if you wants to create the items into this column, like if you were everyone aware of the Excel, right? We first create the columns, then we'll create that stuff in that, like whatever data we wants to create. So in the similar way, here it's a grid. We can click on the grid and we can create the data over here. If you don't want to do in that way, then also we can just select this. After selecting it, click on it. It will give you a form-like structure. All the columns in the form structure. We can create here as. Suppose I want to update it. I want test 2. I also want to update the department, the .NET, like this. It's get created. Just cancel it. See, I want to add the date. I'll just gonna click here. I can add the date. Wait, I need to refresh it. It's like we can also it is not giving the calendar, but we can select from the calendar itself. Let me show you here. Suppose if we are going with the edit in grid view, see, it will give you the calendar. And by using that calendar, 15 today's date. Now, after selecting it, we need to exist a grid. Then only it will save the record. If I won't do exist grid, then it won't save the record here. I need to do exit grid view here. This record gets saved. Okay. Now, what I was showing this thing, here I have created one choice column, department. In the department, we are having 3 choices over there. Now, I'm going into the sites. Here in the site contents. In the site contents, you will see all the things which are there in your site. All the documents, libraries, all the list, all the pages, everything will be listed here in the site contents. And from site contents itself, we can create new list, libraries, or whatever you want to create. Suppose I'm creating one new list here. Here, I'm creating list that is for, I'm taking one blank list. I'm creating associated department. Associated departments. Create. Here, I'm gonna create one lookup column. Suppose in the title, I'm just going to the column setting. We can rename it. I'm giving the name of employee. Save it. And I want the, the department list, this particular, the employee is there in the department, whatever department is associated with this employee. So I'm creating one lookup column to look into the departments. What departments are there in your organization, suppose. So while choosing the lookup here, next department, type lookup. Here, select the list as a source. Select a column from the list above. Here, our first list name is Canvas list. I'm selecting the Canvas list. In the Canvas list, I want to look into the departments. In the Canvas list, departments should be there. Wait. Wait a minute. Let me go into the Canvas list. Okay. What we will do, we won't take the the choice column here. Suppose I'm creating one text column and I'll give here the departments. Save it. Here I'm deleting this choice column as of now. Go into the group setting, edit, delete this one. Now, add it in the grid. Department I'm creating. First is a Power Apps. Second item I'm creating test 3 and department I'm taking SPFX. Name is a required X, Y, Z. Again, third one also I'm creating test 4 RTR. Then suppose here we'll take .NET. Okay. Exist grid view. Now I want to see these list of these departments. PowerApps, SPFX, .NET. Here in this column, we are not creating a choice column. We are creating a lookup column here. Lookup. Next. Associated department lookup. We are looking into Canvas list, that too into the departments. Now save it. It is a lookup column. Now I am going to add one item here. Employee name. Suppose my name, Clara, is working into which department? I want to choose a department. Now I will get all those departments here from this list. There can be a number of departments listed over there in the list from the organization. So from those departments, I want to select one. So I am looking into here in this list, from this list. That's why we are calling it as a lookup column. Look up. That means we are looking around it. We are looking around into the other list for the fields, for the values. That's why it is calling as like a lookup column. Suppose I'm selecting a Power Apps. So exit it. So it's a lookup column concept about that. We can create so many kind of, relationships as well in the, if we are using the Dataverse over there, also we will be having a lookup column and other relationships as well. But here in the SharePoint, we only have a lookup column, not other relationships. In the Dataverse, we'll be having a different types of relationships over there. But here we can use the lookup column concept in the SharePoint Online. That means suppose I want some data. Here I'm having different lists, 4 to 5 lists, suppose we are having. And in the department, I'll give you example, like in one list, only departments are listed. In one list, only technologies are listed of the of the organization. Now we are creating one list. In that we are adding the details of the employee, and we need to select this particular employee is from the which department, is from the holding which technologies, skills. So we need to look into those first, the department list as well as the technology list for taking the information for this particular employee. So getting the concept of the lookup?
Yes.
Yeah.
Any confusion?
No.
No.
Okay. Yeah. If you guys having any confusion, if you want any clarity on the point, just interrupt me and ask me. I'll be there to help you out with that things. Okay. We'll explain it again if you want.
These kind of operation we also do in SQL also by applying the
Exactly.
queries.
Exactly. By query filter will be
By query,
in the.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Here, let's go further. This is for the SharePoint Online. Tomorrow we'll cover the Dataverse over there. Dataverse having some other concept too, because in the Dataverse we'll be having the dashboards, relationships, as well as the forms concept, charts over there. So it's so many things are there in the Dataverse. We'll start and we'll cover overall Dataverse tomorrow. Okay. Today, if you guys having any questions still here, then you can ask.